Hey everyone, and welcome to another podcast of Alexandra Mayers Live. I am here at the park. Now, I do want to tweet this podcast, so just give me a moment. All right, everyone, welcome once more to another podcast of Alexandra Mayers Live. I am Alex. That's what most people call me, but you could also call me Alexandra, whatever. Anyways, I came out to the park today to do a little bit of meditation and relaxation. I am so fortunate to live where it's warm, where the sun's shining. Actually, the sun's setting, as you can see. It's setting right here. I'm just pulling it down. But there's a few things I wanted to talk about today. I specifically wanted to take some time to send some well wishes, some healthy, vibrant energy, some light and love to a young man who had to undergo some surgery today. I follow him on Twitter and I just retweeted his tweet actually. He goes by the name of Garrett. He's actually a very close friend to the child star best known from Different Strokes, known as Todd Bridges. As I was covering some online gossip and just silliness in regards to Todd Bridges, I got to know Garrett a little bit, and he is sweet, he is nice, he is a sensitive soul, and so if some of you out there could send some well wishes and positive energy to him as he goes through whatever this medical issue is that he's undergoing today, that would be really nice. Now, another thing that I wanted to talk about today has to do with my feelings in regards to the news yesterday when it comes to attorney and presidential hopeful Michael Avenatti. I think something really bad happened. I think something really nefarious happened. And I am going to preface this by saying that if in any way, shape, or form he physically or in some other capacity traumatized a woman, whatever happens to him, I think that he deserves. But if he didn't, I think that the situation that hit the news yesterday is absolutely horrific. Initially, it was reported by TMZ, and as many of you may or may not be aware, TMZ is controlled by a man known as Harvey Levenstein, I think that's his name, and he has a bit of a camaraderie with Donald Trump. So initially this news that came out about attorney Michael Avenatti, who has founded a political activist thing, a PAC called the Fight PAC, and I just joined it too, so I'm hoping that there's something about this that we haven't been told yet. But according to TMZ, Michael Avenatti was arrested on suspicion of domestic violence. Initially, it was reported that it was his ex-wife. However, it came out later that it wasn't his ex-wife. And I checked the news a little bit earlier today. I haven't this afternoon. But who was the woman who reported him? And I guess another thing I wonder now about Michael Avenatti is how good is his judgment when it comes to people? If he was either dating or hanging out with a woman who's later going to be like, there's domestic violence going on here. So my suggestion to Michael Avenatti is, until this indictment thing is over, you might want to take stock of the individuals around you and think to yourself, who do I trust? Who do I not? Who's toxic to me? Who is not? And just remember, not everybody's your friend, even if they're smiling to your face. So that was some disturbing news. It really took the wind out of my sails. But fortunately, I'm reading Omarosa Manigault Newman's book right now. So as I'm reading through that book and I realize what a tremendous woman she is, I'm feeling a bit better. But I came across a post, and I'm not going to say where this post is from because I just don't feel like it. But the person who wrote this particular post is the managing partner of Randazza Legal Group. And it will probably surprise a lot of you that I'm reading this post, but when something is good, I'm going to say it's good. Because when I look at the dichotomy between the managing partner of Randazza Legal Group and Michael Avenatti, it's like an epic Stan Lee story, because a lot of people probably don't realize this, but the managing partner of Randazza Legal Group has written some tremendous political posts when it comes to things that the Trump campaign could do or should do. Now, as all of you know, I am a staunch Democrat. I do not support Trump. But when I look at the brilliance of the managing partner of Randazza Legal Group's mind when it comes to politics, I don't think he's ever really gotten the credit that he should have. And I think part of it is because of his demeanor and how he comes off. He comes off as so freaking harsh and mean and like a little troll running around, scary. If he were to be more like Michael Avenatti and soften his look up a little bit, maybe his life would go a little bit differently. I mean, I really don't understand why that managing partner of Randazza Legal Group is hooked up with these InfoWars jerks and Alex Jones. That's like a carnival sideshow. Why would you do that if you have a mind like that man has? It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't even make sense to me that he would slum it with the worst of the worst attached to the adult entertainment industry. That's just going to bring you down, bring you down, bring you down. And like I said, I think that the dichotomy between Michael Avenatti and the managing partner of Randazza Legal Group, it's like an epic Stan Lee comic book. And I'm wondering who else realizes this. I feel like as I watch these two men develop, and I'm probably going to follow them a lot more as I launch my political news webcast, I feel like I'm watching the development of Dr. Xavier and Magneto. And for those of you who are not aware of those comic book characters, you need to look up their backstories, because the question is, was Magneto always evil? Did he have just cause? Should he ever have been imprisoned? Dr. Xavier said the right thing, walked the talk that was the popular opinion of that time. But was he really a good guy, or was he a self-centered asshole? Just something to think about. But I just feel like superficial appearances seem to play quite a large part in those two men's careers. And I think that's something that the public should think about. And I think that it's something that both individuals should think about. But here's what I want to read to you. It's titled, "Damn Right We Should Get Rid of Birthright Citizenship." Now, don't let the title mislead you. Just listen, because I'll tell you, I think if anyone were to utilize what's outlined in this particular article in their campaign as they're running for 2024, perhaps, they will win. And this is written by the managing partner of Randazza Legal Group. But I'm not going to say his name because I don't feel like it. American citizenship is one of the most coveted statuses that mankind has ever invented. A majority of the 7 billion people on the planet would gladly swap their passport for a nice blue one with a gold eagle on its cover. And how do you get it? For the most part, you get it by being born in the right place or to the right parents. Yeah, there's naturalization, but only about 20 million citizens out of 350 million are naturalized. In other words, those who become Americans by choice are almost statistically insignificant. Even then, I think the path to citizenship is nothing more than a bureaucratic game and doesn't really confer citizenship upon the deserving. Therefore, I agree with President Trump. We should get rid of birthright citizenship. but I believe we should get rid of it for everyone. Open the gates of citizenship to everyone as well, even illegal immigrants, on the same terms as are offered to someone whose entire family tree grew from the planks of the Mayflower. The problem in this country is not that Mexicans are streaming across the border to have anchor babies. The problem is that we have too many useless fucks here, whether they were born here or not. And what a statement. Just as a side note, I so agree with that last sentence I read, because when I look at that guy who I currently have in the Broward County court systems in regards to slandering and defaming my family, as I read this article, he would not be able to be an American citizen at all. But let me continue. We had a huge flood of immigration in the early 20th century. But for that immigration, America wouldn't be half the country it is today. Immigration is not the problem. The problem is that we have so many of our homegrown citizens that are stagnant, lazy, and stupid. And yes, so many of our new arrivals. So how do we separate the wheat from the chaff? We should have a point system for how much citizenship you get, with completely open borders. The country is built on freedom and competition, right? Let's inject competition into the citizenship market. And I'll tell you, if this were to come into place, the way that I would have lived my life and certain choices I would have made would be completely different. We would each earn between 0 to 100 citizenship points. 50 points, you're a citizen. At 75 points, you get bronze citizenship. 85 points, you get silver citizenship. And 95 points, you get gold citizenship. Anyone who hits 100 points even gets super eagle citizenship. If you have one of the higher status citizenship categories, you get certain privileges. Maybe no TSA lines for you. You can carry a gun anywhere you want. You can cut in line at the DMV or other government agencies. All men would still be created equal, hopefully women too. But some can earn status that can make them quantifiably superior, at least in terms of the rights they get. I mean, this is like something straight out of Star Trek. It's brilliant. You get 5 points for being born to an American parent. So there's a little bit of legacy preference, but not a lot. You get a certain number of points for having a full-time job, graduating from high school, for paying taxes, etc. Essentially, a few points for doing the stuff that we expect all productive members of society to do. Certain crimes and assorted other fuck-ups can cost you points. If you do absolutely everything you're supposed to do, but nothing special, you probably wind up somewhere in the neighborhood of 65 points. No special privileges, but a good padding above full citizenship, so that 1 or 2 screw-ups won't cost you your citizenship. You get a certain number of points, you get a certain number of extra points for graduating from college, a master's program or PhD program. We could give more points for more useful degrees. So yeah, you get that master's in victim studies, but don't think that is going to get you, or that is going to make you more valuable to us than a nursing degree or an engineering degree, because it ain't. A law degree, sadly speaking, might not be worth a whole lot, but remember, we need people in trades too. So I wouldn't want this to be an only highly educated people get some points kind of situation. Someone can clean toilets for a living and still make it to the top. You get bonus points for truly kicking in to improve America. You author a book. You start a business that employs a certain number of people. You invent something useful. You cut a badass album. Now, I love that, because that really appeals to the musicians, which is why I think that this would take off, okay? You fill in potholes. The details can be tweaked as much as we like, but the concept is the same. You get points for being worthwhile and making America greater. If you contribute to America sucking, then you lose points. It wouldn't be wholly economically based, as there are non-financial contributions that indicate a certain desirable citizen. You save a puppy from, or that indicate a desirable citizen. You save a puppy from a burning building. You use that law degree to handle a meaningful pro bono case. Joining the military gets you some extra points. Medals gets you points too. Congressional Medal of Honor gets you 10 points that you can't ever lose. But unlike Starship Troopers, service alone doesn't guarantee citizenship, but it helps. You lose points by being convicted of crimes or by douche-tastic behavior that we don't necessarily criminalize. You hog the left lane on the highway. You lose a point every time you do that. Lie about who your kid's dad is. You don't go to jail, but you're not going toward higher status with that behavior missing. Dude, you sexually assault someone, and we can't necessarily prove it sufficiently to put you in jail. We still might be able to dock you some points. If you have an emotional support animal, you lose 5 points. Oh no! I guess that one porn star, things wouldn't work out for her. If you put a dog in a stroller, you lose 5 points. Because fuck you, you're fucking useless. Holy shit. If you incorrectly use the phrase fire in a crowded theater, you're losing quite a few points, my friend. How about if you're someone who creates an online database that terrorizes people's parents? Right there. That should be like 30 points off. Right there. Right there. So fucking read Holmes, or to the underclass you go, you intellectual peasant. Of course, you can be useful in some ways that won't necessarily help you points-wise. This system will be disengaged from the economic system as it can be, or the system will be as disengaged from the economic system as it can be. You can still be rich with lower status, but having more money in the bank won't buy you citizenship points. More money to you, but you're not getting any closer to being an eagle. You can't serve as a judge, in public office, as a cop, or lawyer unless you have at least 75 points, which would be the silver level. In fact, maybe elected offices and even appointed positions require a certain status. I like the idea of using this to punish nonviolent crimes as well. Why lock people up if they have committed some crime but are really not a danger to society? Prison populations would crash, and that's a great thing. But the people who make the money off the prisons, they'd be mad at you, managing partner of Randazza Legal Group. If you have less than 50 points, the Constitution doesn't fully apply to you. Maybe some provisions apply at 10 points or so, but you're not a full citizen. You don't get full protection. Certain geographic areas will be closed to people below a certain number of points. You sure as hell don't get to vote if you're under 50 points. If you are over 25 years old and you have less than 10 points, you get nothing. No First Amendment, no Fourth Amendment, no nothing. Essentially, you're on probation. You have to move out of the way for citizens when you're in line at the store. You don't get to drive. If your points get to 0, we give you a choice of moving to another country, never to return, or prison. But in prison, you can earn points to get yourself out. But if you're a grown man or woman, you can't get at least 10 points, you aren't worth much, so you shouldn't get much. With this plan, we open the borders and welcome everyone. Certain immigrants get to start with a few points. Perhaps you did some act of service to the United States, like saving American soldiers from kidnappers. You win a Nobel Prize, you get 25 points just to move here. But your average immigrant gets only a point or 2 for checking in at the border and letting us know he's here. Or she's here. A truly worthy immigrant, the kind we want, can earn 50 points in 5 years or less, and within a few decades can be eligible to run for president. A crappy one, a fine life here, very unpleasant, as well as homegrown loser, who might find it more desirable to just leave. I guess like my stalker. Thus making room for more worthy immigrants. So Donald Trump, you want to do this? Let's really do this. So that was an interesting article. Some of the comments, if you were to look at the source, were interesting. Some people were saying things like, isn't this pretty much what China is trying to do with its citizenship credit score program. Someone else said, what happens if someone inserts a buy-in clause? Effing billionaires. But I just wanted to share that with you this evening. I just wanted to share that. And, oh, the moon's already out. It looks a lot more daytimey, I'm seeing on camera, than it actually is right now. It's hitting evening hours, so I probably need to leave here. I don't want anyone to attack me at the park.